Chapter 2.1. Okay, my check, is it good? Well, you can hear me, right? Thank you. So once again, welcome back to the English live stream series. Yeah, what I've mentioned in the previous live stream episode. In November, we're gonna witness some pretty big events, and let's say it is necessary to say one of the most important event in November for the Vietnamese, especially in the education system. It would be the Vietnamese Teacher's Day. Um, give me one sec. Sorry, I'm back. So yeah, as I mentioned, one of the most important national holiday for the Vietnamese people would be the Vietnamese Teacher Day, and that is what we're gonna mention in our live stream today. The topic we're gonna have here is pretty common. Yes. So yeah, as you already know, I mean, like you may have already know that which date is the National Vietnamese Teachers Day, but in this live stream, we're gonna give you a thorough inspector about this special holiday for the teachers in Vietnam as well as the world. But the world is just a small part of this live stream, however. We're going to look into the history as well as the meanings of this holiday for, let's say, for the students as well as the teachers. And yeah, I mean, this topic is not really broad, so that's why this live stream is going to be pretty shorter than the one I conducted a few days ago. All right, but I will try my best to keep you up to date. Let's go. Let's start again. I mean, like, let's start the live stream like the last one. We're gonna have a quote. So a quote, I think this one is pretty accurate. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. Yeah, like personally, I think education is like what before I read this quote, I think education is, let's say, uh, initial stage that you need to have in order to get ready for life. However, education would act as, let's say, a very, let's say, that's unavoidable or unevitable role in a person's life. Education will give them knowledge as well as skills to help them to endure in life. And education itself is actually living, it's actually life. I don't know how to really explain this one, but yeah, I guess you can understand what I mean. All right, so yeah, since I cannot really go really clear through this code, so I think I will leave it to you guys. So everybody have different perspective, and probably your perspective is different from mine. So yeah, This is just a general quote, but I truly agree with this one. Okay. Great. All right. So as you already know about the Vietnamese Teacher Day in Vietnam, it would be on the November the 20th of every year. So annually, on this day, we're gonna have some celebration, some anniversary, and along with that, let's say some school or classes would organize some activity for the students in order to honor their teacher as well as celebrate this date with their teacher. And on a larger scale, let's say the world has come up with an agreement to have the International Teacher Day on the October the 5th. Let's say so the distance is quite far, but let's say I will try to give you a closer look into the history, why they choose this date, and what does this date actually means to the student as well as the teacher, or even the people that is not in the educational system. Right. So really quick, give me 1 sec. All right, and what we're going to go through during in this live stream will be about the history as well as the meanings of the Teacher's Day in Vietnam specifically and around the world. And beside that, we're going to talk about the role of the teacher in the education system. Yeah. Like we actually knows what is the teacher role in the education system. However, I will try to give you a deeper look. I mean, more detail. Like you can understand. Like if I mention about the role in the first place, you can understand that the teacher, the main role of the teacher is teaching, right? However, teaching is a very general word. It's not really it's very detailed or not very close to any of those meaning I'm going to mention later in this live stream. So probably after this live stream, you can really understand what is the teacher roles in the education system, as well as how the teacher affect a student's let's say literacy. Okay. And next part of this live stream will be the activity we're gonna have on this specific day. So I mean, like probably I'm just gonna talk about the activity that we have in Vietnamese Teachers Day, because on the International Teachers Day it is a very wide range of activity, and I don't think that the duration of this live stream will allows me to cover it all. And yeah, along with the activity, as you have may have already seen, like on this date, a lot of students or parents will try to send some gift as, let's say, a reward, or to express their appreciation as well as their honor to the teacher. So in this live stream, we're going to give you, let's say, we're going to provide you with some ideas or some recommendation suggestions that of the gift or the present that you can actually give to the teacher to make it, let's say, a very special day for them. Okay. And along with the gift, like you cannot hand the gift to them like without saying anything, right? So yeah, wishes is a must when it comes to this Teacher's Day. And yeah, also the same as gift, we're going to give you some suggestion. However, if you have some other recommendation or any other better ideas, you can actually comment in the comment section down below and let me know. I would really appreciate any of your comments down there. Okay, great. Okay, so let's go through the history of the Vietnamese Teachers Day. So let's look back in the past for a little bit. So on January 1946, an organization decided dedicated solely for educational employment called I don't know if I read it right, FISE or FISE. Yeah, I think I would better call it FISE to be more formal and let's say to be more accurate because I don't really know how is this word actually called. I mean, I should pronounce this word like by itself, or I should spell each letter of it. So FISE would be a better idea, right? So FISE stands for the Federation International Syndical des Enseignants. So this is actually a French word. And yes, that is why this organization was established in Paris, France. And in 1949, at Bratislava International Conference, the FISE organization officially announced a charter regarding teachers and the educational employees that include 15 chapters in total. And the charter content mainly revolved around the fights between modern education system again is Borger's and feudal counterpart, protecting the legitimate, substantial, and mental rights of everyone involved in the educational field. So from the 26th to the 30th of the August 1957, FISE organization has 57 countries in total participations, including Vietnam. Yes. And in the end, Vietnam decided to choose the November 20th as the annually as its Teacher's Day. So as you can see on the screen, the word annually, may you have known or may you have not have known. I'm just gonna mention it. Annually means once every year. So it's like if you say something happened annually, which means that event or that action just happened once a year. Okay, I hope it's clear for you. And on November 20th of 1982, it is the first nationwide celebration was grandly held, which is Vietnam. So it was the first Vietnamese Teacher Day was held on 1982. And from that day on, the particular 20th has become one of the most traditional and important day for its country education sector, honoring every single individual that has contributed to the development of said sector and their achievement to grow a new future, which are their students. So let's say, I don't think that I need to say this, but you may have already known about the meanings. Or why do people celebrate this date? Because it's just simply give me one second. Is this still on? I'm sorry, but I think I got some problem with the internet on my other laptop. Give me one second. Sorry. It's weird. Do you think it's good now? Probably, hopefully. Great. Okay, sorry, I was having some connection problem, I suppose. Okay, yeah, it's fine now. Very great. Yeah, getting back to, sorry for the inconvenience, we have some technical problems here. Yes, getting back here. So as I said, the meanings of this Vietnamese Teacher's Day, I don't think I need to mention it anymore. It is to honoring the teachers as well as for the student. It is an occasion or an opportunity for the student to, let's say, express their appreciation or their gratitude towards the teacher's effort in teaching them and raising their knowledge, making them to be, let's say, a better person. Okay. So yeah, there are a lot of activity. I mean, I used to have a let's say a lot of activity during this day. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna mention it later in this live stream. So probably just go through this one real quick. And as you can see, the meanings of the Vietnamese Teacher's Day is like for an English teacher like Stevie Cook. Yeah, it's not yes, Stevie Cook, an English teacher based in central Vietnam. I don't think this is a Vietnamese teacher. But however, if he is a foreign teacher, I think I would make it even better because they know about our tradition, they know about our costume, and as well as the holiday. How what does it means to the teacher as well as the students? So yeah, we appreciate this comments. So this Teachers' Day is to forget the bad, horrible means teachers and pay your respect to the people who make your life richer with knowledge, which are the good teacher, smarter with skill, and wiser with good words about life and how to become the person you are destined to be. Yes. And students from all around the country showing their respect by either giving gifts, yes, or revising their old mentors and proudly present their successes in life to show gratitude and let the mentor know what their effort has not been in vain. So yeah, the phrase in vain would be something like you do but you don't get anything, any result, or like you put a lot of effort into something, but the result you get is not worth the effort you put. Yes, so that's what we call in vain. Um, yes, and that is also the one of the activity we can mention. Like the student will come to the teacher's house, let's say reminiscing about the old memories, talking about their life, and yeah, letting the teachers know that all their efforts has been paid off, and yes, thanks to the teacher, that the students now have the day they desire for. Yes. Okay, so that is the aspect of the Vietnamese Teachers' Day. However, let's look on the larger scale, on the broader side, we have the world. So the brief history of the word or the International Teachers' Day would be this holiday marks the anniversary of the adoption of the 1966 UNESCO recommendation concerning the statute of teachers. It sets standards regarding the rights and responsibilities of teachers for their initial preparation, further education, recruitment, employment, and learning conditions. So the importance, yes, I mean, they share the same name, right? So although it might have some difference in the way people celebrate it, however, the meaning of this day around the world stay the same. I mean, like in every country, they have different tradition or they have different way to celebrate the Teachers' Day. But the meaning or why they actually do it is pretty much the same for every country. So as you can see on the screen, the importance of the Teachers' Day around the world would be its honor the teaching profession, which are the teacher, and it highlights the current issue affecting the teachers. So on this day, actually, there will be some conference, probably, like I suppose, some conference or say a meeting in some certain school, so that the teacher can actually share their point of view or talk about the problem they are having with the education system, or let's say their job to be more specific. And lastly, it applaud the progress but challenges stagnation. So I put the definition of the word stagnation is, let's say the word stagnation you can understand is the fact of no longer or developing or making progress. So in Vietnamese, I think I think the word stagnation is really close to the word teacher. Yes, the fear of no longer developing or making progress. And yes, the word stagnation can be used for quite a lot of let's see, what is that called? Scenario? Yeah, for a lot of cases. However, if you want to have, let's say you want to enrich your vocabulary, I think, like personally, if I would have to recommend another vocabulary for you that is the synonym of the word stagnation. It would be the word plateau. Plateau. I don't know if I write wrong. Let me check one more time. Plateau. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, the word plateau, which also share the pretty same meaning, like no longer developing or show no signs of developing or making progress in the activity you do. So let's say when you, yeah, so when actually, let's give a specific example, right? Let's give a specific example. So when you go to the gym, if you let's say if you've been going to the gym for a while, you actually can reach plateau, which means your body will stop developing or stop growing, or it is just growing at a very slow rate. So yeah, the word stagnation share the same meaning. I mean, like you can actually understand it that way. So show no signs of developing or no progress so far. However, that would either it would be slow or it would just stop like there. Okay. Yeah, I think I got some caffeine today, so I feel good. Okay, great. All right. Yes, and as I said, the next part of this live stream series, this live stream episode will be the roles of the teacher. As I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, so the roles of the teacher is not simply just teaching, but there are something further than that. So if you think more carefully, or if you put your mind into the role of the teacher, or let's say if you spend a little bit more time to think about the education system, and if you ever work in the education system, you actually know that the role of the teacher is not simply a teacher. Yeah. So the task or the work that the teacher has to do is not only teaching, but the role of the teacher can be varied. I mean, it can be like, let's say, very, very detailed. So as what I'm gonna mention right here. So yes, the role of the teacher, the first role, okay. The first role of the teacher is the controller. So the teacher is completely in charge of the class, right? So what the student do, what they say, on how they say it, the teacher would be the one who control it. So the teacher assumes this role when a new language is being introduced, and accurate reproduction and drilling technique are needed, right? So yeah, I mean, like this is very true for the language teacher. And in this classroom, the teacher is mostly the center of the focus sometimes, but sometimes not. I mean, like for some high school student, their center of focus would be the clock instead of the teacher. So they would wait for the ring, for the bell to ring, and they just can't go home. It was somewhat like me when I was in high school, but however, I'm not that bad. Don't think too bad about me. Okay, and yes, the teachers might have the gift of instructions, which means it is his talent. Like he is gifted with that, and can inspire, although their own knowledge and expertise. But does this role like really allow enough student talk time? Yes, actually it does, because the teacher is just a controller, and the students have, let's say, they have the right, or they have the right. yeah, they have the right to actually talk or express their opinion in the class. And the teacher should be the one who just correct it, or let's say guide them into the correct direction of the problem or of the issue they are studying about. And the next role would be the resource. The teacher is the kind of walking resource center, that ready to offer help if needed, or provide learner with whatever the language they are lacking, performing communicative activities. The teacher must make her or himself available so that learner can consult her or him when it is absolutely necessary. So as a resort, teacher can guide learners to use available resources such as the internet for themselves. It's certainly isn't necessary to spoon feed learners. Yeah, you know the word spoon feed, right? I mean, like from the word, you can actually guess the meaning. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't know if there is better options to translate that word. But yeah, spoon feed learners, and this might have the downside of making the learners reliant or dependent on the teachers. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, and also the teacher is, let's say, the prompter. The teacher encouraged students to participate and making suggestions about how students may proceed in an activity. So the teacher should be helping students only when necessary. I mean, like, yeah, unless they are a grade 1 student or kindergarten student, they just need your help. But however, if they are a little bit older, like in secondary school or in high school, they just need you to guide them. I mean, they don't need you to actually like holding your hand to teach them how to write anymore. You just need to give them clue and they actually come up with the solution to solve the problem. Okay, so that is why I said the teacher should be helping the student only when necessary. So when the learner are literally lost for words, the prompter can encourage by discreetly nudging student. The student sometimes can lose the thread or become unsure how to proceed. The prompter in this regard can prompt, but always in a supportive way. Yeah, so let's say like you never see let's say you like when your teacher asks you to come to the board and you just stuck there for like 15 minutes. But the teacher, you may wonder why doesn't the teacher give you the result already and let you go back to your table, to go back to your desk? However, that is not the role of the teacher. So the role of the teacher is that they will give you clue or they'll give you, let's say, some prompts in order for you to figure it out or you work the problem out yourself so that you can actually develop your knowledge or develop your intelligence instead of, let's say, give you the whole result and you just don't know anything. You don't really understand what is going on with this exercise or what is going on with this problem. So that is the purpose of studying. I think it's still going too hard. The teacher, beside the first three roles I mentioned, the teacher is also an assessor. So an assessor is, let's say, to explain, to manifest this opinion. The teacher assumes this role to see how well students are performing or how well they performed. Okay. Feedback and corrections are organized and carried out. There are a variety of ways we can grade learners. The role of assessor gives teachers an opportunity to correct learners. However, it is not communicated with sensitivity and support. It could prove counterproductive, which is in the opposite way of productive, to a student's self-esteem. Self-esteem means ego, okay, in Vietnamese, and confidence in learning target language. Yeah, I think this one is mostly for language teacher. And beside that, we have the teacher, let's say, also the participant. So when you are in grade one, or say let's say in elementary school, okay, so when you are very young in elementary school, you see the teacher will organize some activity, but he or she won't let you alone. I mean, like at that age, you don't know what you have to do or what is the correct thing to do. So the teacher also acts as a participant. So that is a very easy example I can give you. However, let's say in a more academic way. So this role improves the atmosphere in the class when the teacher take part in activity. However, the teacher take a risk of dominating the activity when performing it, which means, let's say you know what you teach, right? When you become a teacher already, you might have already know about the problem you are talking about or the problem you are posing for your students. So that is why, as a teacher, the teacher have to keep it down to the students level. So like they have to act like a student instead of being a teacher. So it is not causing the feelings of domination during this activity they're taking part in. And here, the teacher can and live in a class, which is like bring more interest or draw more interest of the student to the lesson. And if a teacher is able to stand back and not become the center of attention, it can be a great way to interact with learner without being too overpowering. Overpowering. Mm, I mean, like I think like you can understand this one. So pretty similar to the example I gave you like a few seconds ago. It can be a great way to interact with learners without being way too overpowering. So as you can see, the teacher has let's say a higher position in the class. I mean, like the teacher will actually be the one who control the class, right? And to some certain degree or to some certain point, the students might find that the teacher is using his power and to dominate or to control the class. So I don't think this is a very good teaching method, and it would cause some pressure for the student, which I have, let's say, experienced when I was a kid. Some of the teacher was just too powerful, and yeah, it would cause the class to be very stressful. But a good teacher, let's say, a good teacher would act as a teacher, of course, but beside that, he can also act as your friend. So they would erase the boundary between, let's say, not erase. Sorry, that is the wrong word. Let's say blur. They would make the boundary or the borderline between students and teacher, let's say, less clear, and they can actually get close to their student, get to know their student, and draw their attention or their interest into the lesson they are teaching. So that is what a good teacher do. Mhm. Instead of being like, you have to do this, you have to do that. If you don't do this, I will give you a zero. No, don't teach like that. Okay, and yeah, besides that, the teacher is also an organizer. So perhaps the most difficult and important role of the teacher has to play, yes, an organizer. The success of many activity depends on the good organization and on the student knowing exactly what they are about to do next. Giving instruction is vital in this role as well as setting up activities. The organizer can also serve as the demonstrator, which is the person who do the activity first at the first place, so that the other people can actually get the grasp of knowing what they actually need to do in this activity. So what we call the demonstrator. So this role also allows the teacher to get involved and engaged with the learners. And the teacher also serves to open and neatly close activities and also give content feedback. Lastly, the tutor. Yes, the teacher, let's say, needless to say, The teacher acts as a coach when students are involved in project work or self-study. The teacher provides advice and guidance and helps students clarify ideas and limit tasks. This role can be a great way to, let's say, to pay individual attention to a student. It can also allow the teacher to tailor, make a course to fit specific student needs. However, it can also lead to a student becoming too dependent or even too comfortable with one teacher and one method or style of teaching. So yeah, mm, yeah, we will pose a question for you about this one. I mean, like whether a teacher should be like this or should be like that, and the consequences of that characteristic on the student as well as the teacher themselves. Okay. Hmm. Yes. Thank you. So yeah, so far I think the live stream is going fine, and there's no question. Let's do it. Okay. So yeah, on the yeah, that's what as I mentioned on the teachers Vietnamese Teacher Day, there are like thousands of activities, not thousand, but there are plenty of activities you can see out there. But the I'm just gonna mention some of the most popular one you can see in some schools or in some university. That would be songs. Mm, yeah, so one of the best form of entertainment is either singing or listening to song. And you may organize singing competition on Teachers' Day and give away attractive prize to the winner. So this can actually be organized for both the students and the teacher. But let's say that would be two different, two separate competition because the student cannot compete with a student in this case because probably their voice haven't developed yet. Who knows? And yet another option is to dedicate a group song as well to your teacher. So yeah, in some classes back in the day when I was in elementary school or secondary school, yeah, around that time I don't do that in high school. So on elementary school or secondary school, on this specific day, some of the member would come up with the ideas that it's a give all the teacher during this day. Like if we have the class or if we have the period of this teacher, we can actually give them a song. Like the whole class will sing together, and that would bring a positive atmosphere to the class as well as to the teacher. Like you never know, like some small action can make some people's day, right? Hmm. And yeah, when it comes to entertainment, we cannot. It would be a miss if we don't mention dancing. So organizing dance competition on Teachers' Day is popular in many schools and colleges. You may also organize dance performance, like classical or non-classical, in your educational institution. The talented student in school or college would be delighted to grab the golden opportunity to showcase their talent. So like, yeah, so if you are lucky or if you are talented, you may be recognized by the school and have further, let's say, more opportunity on that specific field of dancing or singing, right? Yes, there is another activity I didn't put on the on the set slide today. Would be the mimicry of teachers. So there are, let's say, there are many students who wants to imitate their teachers, right? This is a great opportunity, whether it's harmless, fun, or to be just like them. While imitating teachers, they try to enact their weight of communication, facial expression when they're teaching, and imitating teacher can form a funny part of the celebration itself, where the teacher can also enjoy watching their replica on stage. I mean, as for me, all right, as for me, if I am a teacher, I don't really know, like currently I'm on this live stream, but I don't know how other people view me. So I would be very happy if somebody can actually mimic what I do on the live stream or what I do in the class in front of me so I can witness. I can see how I perform in the class or how ridiculous I am in the class, right? Oh, it can be a fun activity, but I don't think like many teacher would enjoy the activity because yeah, for some student, if they don't know what is the limit, they would actually cross the line and it would turn into a bad experience or bad activity, to be honest. But if for those who can know to, let's say, know the limits or know the line, they don't cross it, it can be a very fun activity you can try. Okay, drama. Drama, let's say in this case, would be some shows or some plays. So if you are planning to throw a party for the teacher on this special occasion, dramatic activities can form a part of the celebration. Such as activity would give the student a wonderful opportunity to show their acting skills while participating in dramas. Mhm. And yeah, let's say this one is really popular in Vietnam, like back in the day. I don't know for now, but back in the day when I was in elementary school, like every year, we always have this good handwriting contest, which is I don't know if this is a really neat or really accurate translation, but in Vietnamese it would be something like "thi vào giật chữ điển." And good handwriting contest is, let's say, an opportunity for students to actually show off, to show their calligraphy skill, and winning some prize for that. Okay, but yeah, that's for me. It wasn't a very pleasant memory, to be honest. I took part in a good handwriting contest, and yeah, my probably just my handwriting is not really good. So I got the last prize instead of the first prize. Yeah, I'm pretty ashamed to say this, but it was a memory in back in the day in elementary school. Yes. Yeah, handwriting is actually too good. Mhm. Okay, and Thanksgiving. Please don't, let's say, please don't mistake this for the Thanksgiving holiday. Thanksgiving here is just a word, and Thanksgiving, say, means the Teacher's Day is a chance for the student to extend their gratitude toward their teachers. On the occasion, you may show your thankfulness to your teacher by delivering speeches, dedicating quotes, or organizing parties, etc. Okay, and lastly, yes, the main activity you see on Teachers' Day will be honoring teachers. The some of the school and colleagues reward the teacher for their invaluable efforts toward the betterment of the students. You may also organize an award function where you may honor your teacher with titles best suited for their role in institution. In the institution, I think this is still pretty hard. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, just go back. Oh, okay, great. So yeah, the discussion right question right here, this is what I want to say. Do you think that teachers should be strict? So at least once in your life, you may have, let's say, come across or let's say in the class of some strict teacher, right? I mean, like at least once in your life, like no one can avoid this. This is unavoidable, unavoidable, and yeah, for me, those classes are, let's say, have the strict teacher would be very stressful. And I would feel like it is not enjoyable at all. I mean, I just come to class and I study in fear. Mm, so yes, from what I have experienced so far, and from my point of view, let's say from my experience also as a teacher, I think teachers shouldn't be strict. Teachers should better be flexible. You know, when I mention the word flexible, you mean like for some well-behaved classes? No, classes would be too broad. For some well-behaved student, the teacher can actually give them compliment or give them more clues. But yeah, they shouldn't be too strict with those type of students because they have the ability, they are talented already. And for some, let's say, I forgot the word. For some special cases, mm, like the outstanding, no, not outstanding, individuality or particular cases of student, the teacher needs to be strict, but not really, let's say, straight up strict, but also they need to be soft also, like not strict and just scold the student every time or giving the student zero constantly, but they have to be, let's say, be soft. And actually, as I said, the role of the teacher is not only teaching, but there are many other roles that the teacher should do in the class. So that is why they should be soft, as well as giving the students some guidance for them to improve themselves, and or let's say give them some space for improvement, some room for improvement, and some time for them to fix the problem or to fix the mistake they're having, instead of just straight up giving a zero in their test. Or yeah, so I don't mean like test, or but I mean giving zero or giving strict punishment for student. Personally, I think that type of behavior or type of action would actually drive the student to have more hatred toward the teacher. Mm. And let's say also that would lead to the losing interest in studying of a student in worst case. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, that is just my personal point of view. But if you have other better options, or if you have better ideas, just let me know in the comment section down below. Really appreciate them all. But I don't think I'll get any of them soon. Okay. Yes. Okay, so yeah, in order to make this live stream a little bit longer, I would include some vocabulary you might need when it comes to education. Education, yes. So firstly, you can see on the screen with the word academic transcript. Academic transcript would be the type of paper if it is in a book, but if it is online, it would be a type of table you see on the screen, and it include your score and your grades also. So that would be something like that in Vietnamese. Mm, academic transcript. Let's say if you ever, let's say, ever get it translated into English, or yeah, if you need to do some type of documents for going abroad, so the academic transcript would be the học bạ. Yes. So yeah, học bạ is also the band name, but let's say it is on the bigger scale. But học bạ, let's say we can sometimes call, some people would call it the school report or academic report rather than academic transcript. But however, you can apply this for học bạ also. Okay. Certificates. Yes, certificate. Let's say, for example, IELTS certificate, TOEIC a certificate. So you already know what it is. I also include the Vietnamese meaning on it. I don't think I read it anymore. I just try to read the correct pronunciation for you. Head teacher. So head teacher is the person who, let's say, the main teacher of that class and taking care of every problem. But other teachers is just, let's say, the teacher for certain subject, they just come and go. But for the head teacher, they manage everything in the class, from management to punishment to parents meetings. So that is what the role of the head teacher. Okay, and curriculum also. Curriculum. Mark or score would be the number. The number. Let's say you would try to get as much as high as possible in order to have a good academic transcript. Okay, mark or score, they're both the same. Evaluation, yeah, that. Principal or president. Yeah, either of two. Word principal or president, but the word president can be quite confusing sometimes. So yeah, just put principal here. So you can understand principal is the person who has the highest position in the school. And he or she would be the person who make decision in every action, every activity, or everything that going around school. Semester. Semester, let's say, is the period of time that you have to conduct those studying or those classes. So let's say in a year, you might expect to have you would expect it to have 2 semesters maximum. But if in university, you sometimes you would expect to have the summer semester also. So it depends on different type of school, but semester mostly would be 2 for one school year. All right, cheating, yes. Yeah, cheating in this one is in exam, all right? Don't mistake for cheating in relationship. No. Okay, I'm not gonna mention it here. So cheating in exam would be like you look into your friend's paper while doing the test. Yeah, I mean like I wouldn't believe if somebody said that I have never ever cheated during my during my during the time I was at school. That would be something like very fictional or very something like in your imagination. No. So I'm being honest. Yes, I cheat all the time, but in exam, I mean in exam, right? Don't mistake for anything else. Yes, I cheat in exam all the time. I know it's bad, but I wouldn't recommend any of you who watching this live stream to do the same, because yeah, what goes around comes around. Like everything has its own consequences. So I cheated in some small exam, and during the big exam, I don't know anything at all. So yeah, better get yourself, let's say, really ready without relying on the documents anymore during an exam. Okay. All right, and learner center. So learner center would be the method of using the learner to be the center of attention. So phương pháp lấy người học làm trung tâm. And this method is actually used by a lot of English center nowadays, or let's say in education system nowadays. Okay. Objective test would be the test that you can actually choose multiple choice, or you choose some certain question, certain answer. Subjective test on the other side would be the type of test that you have to write your answer. So I hope I make it clear for you. Day school would be the school that allows you to only stay in during the day, but boarding school on the opposite side. Boarding school would be the school that actually lets you sleep there and let's say have a life there. One of the most, yes, for example, right? For example, one of the most famous boarding school and let's say best boarding school that some parents would truly believe or let's say trust enough to put their student, their child or their children in would be the Nguyễn Khuyến boarding school, or some people call it Nguyễn Khuyến prison. Yeah, somehow I think it's true. Okay, plain truant, play truant would be like you don't attend some class, you just go to the canteen or just go to the next door or anything except for going to the class. So yeah, play truant is, let's say, worth punishing, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, but now in university I do that all the time. I mean, yeah, I know I'm bad. I'm bad at attending class. I cheat in exam. I play truant. However, it is just. I mean, like it's not about I'm not interested in studying. It is just about sometimes just feel tired, and I think like okay, today is a good day, and I think myself needs some rest. So yeah, I just sleep. Sorry to say this. Okay, and lastly would be research. Research would be yeah, nghiên cứu khoa học. Research, the word itself would be just nghiên cứu, but research reports would be nghiên cứu khoa học. I think that would be better words in this case. Okay, great. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Yes, we come to some type of gifts idea. So what you can buy your teacher on this day can be varied. I mean, you can buy them some flower and to express your gratitude toward their effort. That is fine. However, flowers would be something like everybody can do, right? So flower can be an additional gift along with this one. So I'm going to mention 10 recommendations right here. So mason jar with goodies. So you can fill a mason jar with goodies. Goodies here including gourmet chocolate or even freshly baked cookie. And the good thing about providing a gift in a mason jar is that it can be reused, like the jar, not the fruit, and savor forever, even when the sweets run out. Okay. Personalized pencils or notes card. Yeah, this is a really great idea because all teachers write notes and use pen or pencil. So why not get them some personalized stationery or writing utensils made for your favorite teacher? So personalized would be something like you carve their name on the pencil or you have the name signs on the pencil. So it's actually have some meanings or have some signature to their own thing. Okay, good one. Yeah. Okay, this is a really nice. I mean, before that, before doing this live stream, I think wine wouldn't be a very nice gift idea for the teacher during this day. However, mm, the more I think about it, the more it makes more sense. So one way to unwind after stressful classes, maybe classes with me. Some teachers have classes with me that are very stressful. So one way to unwind is a glass of wine. So if you know your teacher preferences, choose a good bottle of red or white or Sauvignon Blanc wine, and they are surely to appreciate it. Okay, bags for school, needless to say, every teacher needs a bag. So teacher tends to carry a lot of paperwork and books to and from school. So you can help them on their commutes by choosing comfortable and spacious bag. Spacious means there are a lot of space, means large or big, and you can put a lot of things in it for them to use. And you can even customize it with their initials. Initials. Oh yeah, you know the word initials, which means the first letter of name. Hmm. Yeah. See, travel tumbler. I need to think. I need to say it. Yeah, but like traditionally, some people would think like a mug would be the best idea, but take overdone mug gift to the next level. I mean, do something different, right? By buying a reusable coffee or tea tumbler. So this way, your teacher can take their drink on the go. They can bring it to school. They can bring it to the gym. They can bring it to the park, anywhere they go, right? But if you are running out of idea, you don't know what you should really buy, you stuck around like middle of nowhere, you can buy some gift cards. So yeah, you can buy a generic Visa gift card because it can be used for anything. I mean, and you can actually choose the amount of money for that gift cards. So they are accepted everywhere. Let's say if I had to have a word for gift cards, I would call it universal. You can use it anywhere and it can please every preferences or everybody. Gift cards is the best idea. Yeah, along with that, we're gonna have the coffee subscription. You see at number 9. So if your teacher is a coffee lover and he or she need a cup of coffee to stay sane during the day like me, yeah, you should get him or her a coffee subscription so that he will get let's say unlimited supply of coffee. And that is a way to keep your teachers happy. Like a cup of coffee will keep him sane. Or let's say not make him not drive him crazy in class for some special cases with students. Okay, and yeah, handmade decoration. Needless to say about it, notes and letter. So more often than not, teachers really appreciate gifts from the heart the most. I mean, gifts are not just about money or about the value, but it is, yeah, actually about value. It's not about money. Sorry. Yeah, gift is not about money or the amount of money you put in it, but it's actually about the value or what you actually need by giving the gift to the teacher. So without spending anything, just you can write the teacher a heartfelt letter of gratitude for all they have done for you and taught you. And yeah, to some possibility, your many teachers save these letters. Okay, and lastly will be the gift basket. So gift basket, you can actually imagine that will be something that people give other people on TED holiday. So gift basket can include goodies. Some can include like teas, coffee, cookies, gift cards, stationery, edible arrangement of fruits, gourmet trail mix, etc. Or you can go to the practical route and include hand sanitizer, whiteboard markers, and other items that actually the teacher can need during their class time. But yeah, there are a thousand more of other ideas on the internet. So if you're running out of idea, or if you don't want to using one idea every year, you can actually look up on the internet, and they will have some better suggestion for you. Mm. Sorry, but yeah, I don't think we have enough time to answer all those questions. So yeah, wishes. Those wishes can seem pretty cliche. It can seem, say, pretty extra, but yeah, better have than not, right? So I'm gonna give you some advice or some suggestion, say, on the wishes that you can actually write a letter. If it's too cliche for you to speak, you can actually write a letter and send it to your teacher. In a better way, like sometimes you cannot control yourself, you cannot help yourself when saying this word. You can burst into laughter during when saying this word. As for me, I would definitely do that. I mean, yeah, if I have to express my gratitude towards my teacher, I would prefer to write a letter instead. So yeah, a letter would be something like a great thanks to you. You are our teachers who give us recommendations and dreams to build our life. I wish that I could show my gratitude to you. However, it's hard to express by speech. Yeah, this one can be used in letter. I just hope this little card can show a part of my warmest appreciation from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, cliche. Teachers, it is not only on November 20th that I remember you. Live. For me, every day is November 20th. I wish you could be happy forever and be proud of your students. And yeah, this one is, let's say, a very practical or very popular wishes. You can witness everywhere. You can hear every people saying this. So on occasion of Vietnamese Teacher Day, I wish you and your family good health, happiness, success in your life. Yes, can be very short, but can be very meaningful like that. You don't have to be extra. I mean, like for this number 4 sentence, the sentence number 4, you can actually say it instead of write it, because it doesn't sound too much, right? And yes, number 5 would be the longest. The further I'm away from you, the more I think about you. So there is no end to your instruction. There's no end to my gratitude. Wish you a good health, peace, and happiness. Yeah, it is a very meaningful wishes. Wish, however, it can be too might be a little bit difficult for people to actually say it in person. So except for number 4, I think 1, 2, 3, and 5 should be written in letter and sent along with gifts or postcard. So yeah, it would make you feel more comfortable. But if you can say it or you can speak it in person, that would be very good. Okay, thank you. So yeah, also that would also close our live stream series today. So thank you very much for watching the live stream. Stay tuned for the next topic on Friday at 8:15 as usual. So yeah, stay tuned and I will see you back then. Have a good night. Okay, stop streaming.